Today, Molly and I are so excited to be talking with Sabine Josephs, creator of All of Us Skin Tone Crayons. Last December, Sabine launched her Instagram page, Waldorf in Color, where she shines light on the challenges that people of color have with being underrepresented in Waldorf communities and how by working together we can make change.
I wanted something that was deeply conscious about the materials used, because we're very conscious about how the things we use affect our planet. So I know beeswax, I just wanted it to be really pure and less invasive to this earth. So I just created it. And then I posted it on my Instagram, and then everybody wanted it. So
yes.
So I was super busy, a stay-at-home mom. I did what any normal stay-at-home mom would do, is they just ignored it. I'm not making crayons. I don't have time to make crayons. And then people kept on asking. They were like, so what about those crayons you posted a few weeks ago? And I'm like, oh, you're still thinking about it? Okay. So then I started to just look at how do I make these things, and found a basic recipe and tweaked it and really refine the pigments and make sure these colors really represented well.
Right.
And then I literally put one set on Etsy, and I didn't even tell anybody about it. I just put it on there to see what would happen. Right. And then somebody bought it, and I was like, oh, I'm really making crayons now.
Oh, wow.
And so I launched a pre-order of 45 sets, and they went really quickly, and then increased that, and it just kept on steadily growing from there.
These wonderful crayons represent 8 skin tones, so no mixing of colors is required. They honor the skin tones of our diverse world and are made with all natural ingredients. They contain beeswax, Carnauba wax, and earth pigments. You'll find no paraffin and no fillers in these crayons. This week, the crayons launched on bellalunatoys.com.
Yeah, and now Bella Luna, which is so surreal.
That is incredible.
Yes, thank you. It's been really exciting. Yeah. It's really been a labor of love, because it's the crayons that I wish I had when I was a child.
I ordered 2 sets.
Mm-hmm.
I have no young children at home.
Yeah.
I know my children, I wish they would have had it for my children when they were little. All the time, they really tried so hard,
Yeah. And even as when I was young, I was just always told to just use the brown crayon.
Exactly.
It's not my skin tone now. Yeah. So I'm so grateful to be able to provide these.
We're so excited that All of Us Crayons are available on bellalunatoys.com. We also put a link in the show notes so you can check them out. Be sure to buy a set before they sell out. Now on to the interview. Welcome, Sabine.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here. So thank you so much for having me on.
Sabine, we'd love to hear what led you to Waldorf education and what underlying principles of Waldorf education, what are you connected with?
Yeah, so I was introduced to Waldorf education by my husband, actually. He was listening to a podcast, and on that podcast, they spoke about biodynamic farming, which led to Rudolf Steiner, which led to Waldorf education. So he came home from work one day, and he was like, I learned about these things, and I think we'd be interested. And then, so we did a deeper dive. Biodynamic farming, loved it. Sign up for our local CSA farm the following week. And then started reading about Steiner and his philosophies, and then Waldorf education. And at the time, my daughter wasn't born yet. We didn't even know we were expecting, actually, at that time when we learned about it. So we loved it. And then we're like, when we have a child, this is going to be it. And so a few months later, we found out we were expecting, and then we got this education covered. So when she was 6 months, we enrolled her into our parent-child class in the local Waldorf school, and we were absolutely hooked. Everything that we expected, we learned 10 times. It was amazing. the things that she was learning, everything about it, we loved. And I came from a finance background, and I was in finance for 10 years, and it just wasn't my calling. And I knew that the way I was educated, because I came from public education, I knew that there was something missing, but I couldn't pinpoint what that was. And discovering Waldorf education put all of the pieces together for me and allowed me to see a space where there's more potential to thrive and to be truly who I was and truly be my authentic self. And to be able to provide that for my daughter is everything I wished and hoped for her. And what I loved about Waldorf education is the freedom of it and the no curriculum. And I think that provides us such power to really harness into our full potential and being able to individualize every child's needs and really understand the intellectual piece and the physical and the emotional and the spiritual side of every human being. I think that gives us such power to make huge leap forwards into changing the world.
Beautiful. My goodness. Yes. When you were speaking there, so much of what you said resonated with me. With my discovery of Waldorf education, my initial discovery of Waldorf education. Yes.
Yeah, it just like hooks you when you discover it and you just know that this is where you need to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, certainly there is undeniably the depth of truth in coming to grasp and understand human development. And because Waldorf education, that is essentially, the backbone of how teachers approach teaching children. There's just this depth of truth in that that's undeniable. And I think that when people connect with that, it's so easy to connect with because for that very reason. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we work towards building anti-racist Waldorf communities, what do you think needs to change in Waldorf education?
I think the ability or the consciousness rather to listen to the people around you and see what is not meeting their needs. And then once you have that, look within and see where you can maybe personally make a shift into the way you navigate spaces. And then maybe look at ways you may be contributing to some of the challenges that other people have. But I really truly think the work starts within and identifying where personal changes need to be made to make spaces more inclusive and more inviting for everyone.
That inner work that needs to take place.
Yeah.
Yes. And knowing that inner work is a big focus in Waldorf education, especially when we think of the teachers and even, administrators really wanting to put that at the forefront at this time right now where our whole country is, again, in this deep engagement on a level that we haven't seen before. I just wonder, what did we miss? How did we miss this in Waldorf education? How was this missed? Even knowing that inner work is something that has always been a part of the Waldorf pedagogy as a whole. Yes.
Yeah. And I think more people are raising their hands saying, hey, wait, this doesn't resonate with me. And then more people are actually listening and wanting to be more inviting and more inclusive with everyone. And I think everyone who have taken to Waldorf education, they know about that soul work, that inner desire to thrive. And then they also make the space for that to happen.
Exactly.
We do that so easily with our little ones, right? They're going through a challenging time. We make space and we adjust to make that time easier for them to navigate through. But sometimes we lose that as we get older, as adults. And I think getting back to the listening and to really observing people around you and the experiences that they're going through, and really allowing yourself the power to make spaces more inviting for them.
Exactly. Yes.
I think the inner work really is so much like an onion. It's so layered and nuanced, and
Yeah.
it's so easy to stop before you really get to the heart of matters. And so I think it's a real blessing that this time is calling all of us to just continue to go deeper and to ask the questions that need to be asked so that we can really try and unravel and connect more and more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Sabine, we cannot thank you enough for joining us. We do strongly feel that these kinds of conversations continuously need to take place, not only in school communities, not just even Waldorf school communities, but all school communities, and within our parent body, within the leadership of schools, and within our own families and with our friends, just to continually have these conversations and keep striving to work towards creating space, anti-racist spaces, because it is so, so important for us to be able to move forward as one humanity. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's absolutely my pleasure and honor to have these conversations. And thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on We Nurture. Your support in listening to our episodes is so valuable to our work, and we are so grateful. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite listening platform. Also, check out our new website at wenurturecollective.com, where you'll find useful parenting information, recipes, craft ideas, and more.